What's going on, guys? I feel like ranting a little bit. I feel like getting annoyed. I feel like probably rustling some feathers. Probably, I don't know. It might be controversial. The art community is definitely heavy. And I myself consider like video game art itself as an art, obviously. I love video games. I love movies. I think art is definitely transformative. I think it is a great thing, okay? Obviously, if you read comic books, you read manga, if you take in all sorts of media, art is subjective to each person. But I have to say the one thing that I think is annoying, and I think that, like I said, this is my opinion, is the new age art is stupid, 100%. Now, there's a few outliers, which I'll cover one of them that I thought was really cool. But for the most part, I've seen modern art just take a dumpster dive. It is trash. It is so easy. There's no skill. There's no setup. There's no imagination to it. It's all super basic and all copies and clones of whatever. So basically, not to call any particular person out, and yes, probably a bunch of people are going to know who I'm talking about, but I don't know who this is. I didn't feel like actually looking him up. I didn't know it was actually two of the same, or one of the same person with two different videos when I was looking this up, just to make sure I got the right context for it. But there's a person who likes to hang themselves up and do like a little pendulum where they do it themselves with like some paint. And they also use what is basically its own thing. It's a little tray and it squirts it out a little bit. But it was the same person. I found out that actually went upside down themselves holding the paint and also doing it by itself, which does not change the fact it's still going to do the same thing, except for you're just holding the paint. But the paintings are that. Just squirted on paint. That's it. There's nothing to it. There's no skill. There's nothing added to it. It's just whatever it goes to is whatever it lands on type deal. It is complete RNG how that painting will turn out. While yes, you can take what would be RNG mechanics, and I'm saying this very game-like, but you could take paint, splash it on a canvas, and then make something out of it, where you can change it to look like a good piece of art. I've seen plenty of people do that. And then there's some art that looks like it's just splash canvas, and then you come to find out by the end of it, it was like an inverted or upside down painting, and it ends up being like a very neat, almost realistic. You can definitely tell it has an artistic turn to it, but it would look pretty realistic. It's something that is a skill, something that took talent and time to actually be able to get to this. But like I said, pendulum art, I think, is really stupid, and I don't see the point in it. And I know a lot of people are going to like, well, see, it's not for you. The comments, I'm going to be honest, were equally as hilarious. They all kept stating stuff about how it drew out an emotion from them. Do you need help? I don't see how splashed paint drew an emotion. I can see how you could see like an actual emotional picture, or say there's one guy that actually does some pretty interesting artistic pieces based off OCD or other mental illnesses, ADHD, any type of psychosis. He does these different drawings that's supposed to really visualize and show you what it kind of feels like to go through those, which are really neat. They each have their own like creature look to them, and I think they're super cool. Took a long time, very good talent, knew what they were wanting to draw. That's art. I completely agree with that. In fact, this entire conversation was done on one of my streams maybe a few weeks back or a week ago. I can't remember. I think it was while I was on shutdown. But we had a long, interesting conversation while they also had their own input on what they thought. It was pretty much in a consensus that the splash paintings are dumb. But I'm going to show you a splash painting where, I mean, it's being transformed that it seems really cool. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it caught me off guard at first. Okay, so at this point, like I said, completely just whatever, right? Pretty similar to anybody else that does splash painting, but doesn't have a good skill to it. And now this is where there's like 4D chess thinking, high IQ, don't know how he did it, but the dude knows what his end result's going to be. It's absolutely perfect. And come to find out, he's got a few paintings, which I think is really cool. But this one in particular is the first video I saw, and I just wanted to talk about it and show you where splash painting getting mixed and, well, I'm calling splash painting. I don't know what the actual term is. But, splashing paint up there and then transforming it into an end result that is beautiful, you're about to see it. Now, paintings like this is where modern art is still holding on. You know, like I said, video games to me is a modern art that's still holding art pretty much to a true form. Most other modern art is used for, in my opinion, laundering and a bunch of other stuff, just to make people be able to do tax write-offs and do all this, that, and the other. And a lot of people who get their art paid for this modern whatever garbage don't realize they're being made fun of. By the way, there was an entire, like, not a whole group, but we're just going to say individuals that did the same thing in different art galleries, where they would just do dumb things like putting a table in somewhere, or I think there was a banana on the wall. They're trolls. They're absolutely goober trolls, and people fell for it. They're like, oh wow, this is really speaking to my soul. I really think that this banana speaks wonders about the absolute atrocities that are happening in Uganda, or some other whatever wild pretentious shit they want to say. But that is what it's come to at this point. Like I said, I'm not going to take one clip of any of these people I'm kind of goofing on, because it's not just one person. There's a bunch of them, and I don't want to just call out one and they'd be like, oh, well, there's 1,000 other things they did. I really don't care. I just want to make sure that I make my point as clear as possible. That I think modern art of like the laziness itself is just gotten so like dumb. Like, I don't sit here and try to act like I'm on a high horse. Oh, my videos are the best of quality. My videos is like top tier YouTube quality. This is where everything comes together and I amalgamate it to really express my I'm here to run my mouth. That's literally all I'm doing, is just having fun and hitting record and just not even trying. I'm not trying to act like I'm doing something to better the world. I'm just literally using what YouTube is meant for, which is to post what you want and kind of express yourself a little bit, which is fine. I'm 100% okay with expressing yourself. What I don't like is the pretentiousness behind it, to try to act like because you're doing some splash, little on some canvas or whatever, or a big table you're spinning around, and pretending like that was a big accomplishment and super draining and this and that and the other, or it's a talent. It's not a talent. It is super obscure, while still, it can still look great and be vibrant and be really unique. It's definitely unique. You never get the same painting twice. There's a lot of, positives with that. It's definitely going to be all different, but I'm going to be honest. What's so unique that 1,000 people can't do that so easily? And more along lines, I'm merely talking about, and I don't think I clarified this part, I'm merely talking about the effort it takes to actually learn a skill set like that. So like hyper-realistic pencil drawings. Super hard. I may be able to do it in the future. I do not want to. I myself think hyper-realistic pencil drawings are awesome. They look like black and white photos. They're super, super hard to do. It takes a lot of talent, a lot of built-up skill to actually be able to do those. I myself, I never really got outside of amateur drawing. I did a little bit of cartooning for fun, but I just don't like the length and time it takes to draw these. So I would never want to learn that. That's why I think it's just so cool that somebody has the dedication to get their skill level to that set to actually draw those. Same thing with really good arts, with just using Walmart arts and crafts crayons. You can be surprised how great artists do to use the bare minimum necessities to make wonderful, beautiful art. And then you have people that go spend $150 on paint cans and go take a shit on a canvas and just say, yep, I've done it. Where's my $150,000 now, please? And yes, to clarify, I know it probably seems a little hypocritical of me to say, well, it's also, art is self-expression. It's definitely going to be unique, or this, that, and the other. It can be subjective, whatever. But I think there should be a small little line somewhere to kind of say, well, this right here, it should be subjective. When it's just like nothing going into it, that's where I think I would be like, yeah, it shouldn't be $40,000 to $180,000 to $1 million sell. That's clearly laundering at that point. Now, I can't be the art police by no means. I just can't. And I know it's a little hypocritical to be saying that that's not art, while I'm still also saying art is subjective, or supposed to be, unique to the artist, this, that, and the other, plus saying that it's also just self-expression. I know that. It's a little hypocritical, and I understand. But at the same time, I hope people see where I'm coming from, where I think the self-expression should have at least a little bit of skill and talent to it, rather than just randomness. While randomness can be implemented into art, I think you should be able to, overcome that. Like the example I showed you where he did this all randomly. Well, it looks random. I'm pretty sure it was deliberate in its own way, but still, he couldn't mask up 100% where that splash is going to go, and he still made what was a well-done city line. And that's the thing I don't think a lot of people will look into and see as art. They want to see rainbow vomit on on paper, and I think that's kind of a little bit overboard to me. But I think I've ranted on long enough. Y'all have a good one.